Welcome to That's What's Up. I'm your host, Chaz Burke, and we'll be talking today about things in the economic outlook for the United States. Today is September 28th, 2016. First of all, we are in the midst of a presidential race between the Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton and the Republican nominee Donald J. Trump. I want to focus on a little bit just about the proposed tax plans and how these two differ on their proposed spending and revenue-raising economic plans. And I'll start with the Republican plan. To what I understand, Donald Trump is proposing over-the-board cuts, across-the-board cuts for everybody. This is what I understand to be true. However, the bulk of the cuts are going to be for people in the upper echelon of earning incomes, so people above $400,000, and so, and he'll do that more directly through capital gains and through individual income tax. It will be lessened, it will be reduced for those people. Business tax will also be reduced to the tune of about 15%. Right now, it's currently at about 30%. So what this does, the people that are wealthy in the United States will actually keep more of their money. You might think that's a good thing. However, if these are the people that are contributing, there are more of them contributing less to the economy. And on top of that, the capital gains are basically things like stocks and bonds, which the general population, as far as people who are earning far less, middle income people and lower income people, just don't have any capital gains. They don't have any stocks and bonds. They don't have any disposable income to take advantage of these things. So if you look at it, the rich will basically get richer. And if you're in that category, I see where you would prefer that. However, what that does to the economy in the long run is it will stimulate, first of all, in the short term, it will stimulate growth. It will stimulate the GDP probably by 6% over 4 years, which is great. However, he's threatening not to make any tax cuts at all. Not tax cuts, but any new taxes. So if you're spending and you're reducing the amount of income that you have coming in via taxes, that's only going to result in an inflated deficit, which we just started paying down under the current administration. That will be the Obama White House. So we're always talking about the national debt and the deficit. Well, it's going to grow again under the Donald Trump's plan. So in the long term, that is more money that our grandchildren and children are going to have to be burdened with paying down. You've heard that term before. So that's just the way I understand it at this point on the Republican side. If you take the Democratic side with Hillary Clinton, her proposal is to raise taxes on the wealthy. There will be in a higher tax bracket, which makes the most sense because they can afford to pay more. If you take less money, if you take more money from lower income earners, they're going to have less to spend on disposable goods, food, clothing, shelter, and things like that. So basically going to keep them in the poverty level. And, it's difficult to pay health insurance and buy medicine and food as well when you have less disposable income. So something has to give. And also, if that's going to happen, she is going to have to find a way to to earn taxes, earn revenue as well, and that's going to have to happen. Like I said, in the way of taxes, where the rich are going to pay a bigger share of taxes because they've been getting a break on it in the first place. And I don't believe it's true the trickle down effect, where the rich people have more money, they'll spend it on businesses and continue to grow the economy. As we see, that's usually not the case because they usually take their money and their gains and they put them overseas in banks and hold on to it, or just compound interest. And again, if you're in that category, I don't blame you for doing that. However, the rest of us are looking at you and like, where's my piece of the pie? So Hillary is also threatening, what that'll do with her plan, it'll be a steady growth. Not as robust as Donald Trump's would be, but it would be steady and slower. But this also allows her plan to maintain the level of spending and also continue paying down the debt. So it's kind of like moving along the train tracks, doing more for your money, but not so dramatic fashion. However, she will, with the extra taxes, she is promising to give free tuition or some kind of tuition reimbursement, free college to college students. And of course, that's essential in my book if you want a smarter, more prepared workforce in the future, to have more opportunity, to have more people working, earning higher wages. That will stimulate the economy as well. So it's looking at, do you want to stimulate it now or do you want to wait till later? So those are the two proposals as I understand them. Someone can email me or let me know if I'm wrong on anything or if I miss anything. I have a different approach. I believe in a flat tax, or either I'd prefer actually a national sales tax of about 25%. And what that would do is the national sales tax, first of all, you would eliminate the federal income tax and all the other taxes that each of us pay. Because what they say is that there's a built-in tax of about 25 to 23% on every single item that we buy in America already. And this happens by everything being taxed and retaxed. If you make a car, the tires for the car are taxed, the windshields are taxed, the plastic moldings used is taxed. All these taxes go into the actual process of building that vehicle, just as an example. So you're left with about 25% tax on everything that we buy. Well, if we get rid of the other taxes, the FICA tax and all the other taxes and the local taxes, the government's still going to be able to operate because there will be a central collection agency to collect the 25% of any merchant that you go to and buy. So, and it's not going to jump to 50%. What that does is all those other taxes will be eliminated. So, the price of those goods and services should come down about the same amount, 25%, because now the manufacturers and the service industry won't have to charge and make up that extra money. So essentially, we kind of just shifted around. That 25% is the key number. We shifted around. Now that 25% is what you keep, every single person in the country keeps in their paycheck. And what this does, now when you go to buy goods and services, when you buy a car, when you buy a beer, when you buy a bottle of wine, when you buy a house, everyone will pay the exact same amount on that item. Only once. If you go to the store and you buy toilet paper, you buy one roll, you're going to pay 25% on it, But if you buy a car, that'll be different. You're only going to pay that once when you buy that car. So it won't be, you won't have to keep on paying it every year, or even your house. You won't be assessed on those taxes every single year. It's just taxes built in, you pay it, you're done. What's going to happen, though, is that 25% now is in your own paycheck. That's you, the consumer, has 25% more of your own money to do whatever you want with it. You can invest it, save for retirement plans, spend it, do what you want. With that money that the government's going to collect, it's also going to be a set dollar amount for each family based on your family size. That you will still get a tax return, almost like a stimulus every year. And of course, that will be set by the government. So those are just a few things that I wanted to just throw out there for a minute and give you something to think about. I'll get you some solid numbers here shortly. But in the meantime, I just want to hear your thoughts on that. So you could send me an email at chuckyburke38@gmail.com, or you can find me on Facebook at chuckyburke@facebook.com.